With Spark and Sparkle code giveaways. Woo! There she is. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Morning DOOGER. How are you all doing? It's a little bit cooler here. I say little with a lot of hesitation because inside is still real gross. But, you know, outside, if you go outside, it feels all right. It's just the house is slowly ejecting the heat. Hi, guys. Welcome. Don't let anyone do anything fun without me. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's talk about different types of lettuce. That's not very fun, right? You know, I'm still very partial to just iceberg lettuce, but as I've gotten older, gotten really into arugula. I like the pepperiness of arugula. I grew up eating a lot of radicchio, though, so that might be part of it. I'm just used to kind of like the bitter or like spicier sort of lettuce strains kind of mixed in with the more bland ones. Some people really like salads that are entirely spinach leaves. I can't really get behind that. I like a little bit of spinach, but I can't just eat spinach. But also keep in mind, I don't put a whole lot of dressing or no dressing at all on my salads typically, because I like to let the vegetables sing. So maybe that's why I find myself to be a little bit partial to having some leafy greens in there that pack a little bit of a punch, you know? Was that sufficiently boring? I need crunchy lettuce. Soft lettuce is the worst. Well, yeah, I would agree with that. People that are super into, kale salads, will swear up and down that the only way to eat a kale salad is to massage the kale first, because if you just eat kale as it is, it's way too harsh when it's raw, right? So a lot of people will just put kale in a bowl with some oil, I think, and just massage it, right? And I had a massaged kale salad, and I was like, holy shit, this actually does make a huge difference. I don't know if I'm willing to massage kale myself. You know, a salad is kind of like a quick throw a bunch of shit in a bowl thing for me, but that really does make a difference. So why are we talking about lettuce? Because somebody said that we couldn't do anything fun before they came back. So there you go. That's all that I really got on lettuce. I'm sorry. We've got some Valentines already. Potato says, "Hey guys, it's coffee time." And that's the only time I'm ever going to do that. You guys have blown both of my intros. They're both out of there now, and I'm never doing them again. Cat Rider says, to Snizzy, the poor boy who lost his life in the warrens of darkest Dungo, indeed a cruel mistress. May he rest in peace. As Gary says, thanks to Chat and Dukes for keeping me company while forced to work on this beautiful Saturday. I hope everyone crushes it this weekend. And Avoid the Void says, hey, Chat, you're all lovely. I was supposed to have a little picnic with my cat today, but I'm still feeling not great from stuff that happened yesterday, so I'm staying in my bed. Thanks for keeping me company on my birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Lamb's lettuce. I don't actually know what lamb's lettuce is, but lamb's lettuce was a frequent pet name found in the delightful pages of old Archie comics. So sometimes when I'm goofing, I will call Sam my lamb's lettuce. So there you go. What about the devil's lettuce? Also don't know what devil's lettuce is. How does he take it? You know, just as well as he takes any other time that I'm goofing at him. Oh my god. It's too schwitzy. I keep trying to have my hair down, and I don't know why I got the bug in my ear to try and do that while it's hot as fuck, but we're gonna try it again another time when the back of my neck isn't just sweaty the second I sit anywhere for longer than a second. This is starting to get too fun. Tone it down. I'm sorry. The devil's lettuce. Do you mean weed? Oh my god, that's probably what you mean. I just realized. That probably means weed. Wacky tobacco. It hit me in the moment while I was saying it. Way too fun. Way too fun. Shut it all down. We can't just not have fun here. It's impossible. The left-hand cigarette. The left-hand cigarette? What does that mean? Poor lefties are like, that's all my cigarettes. It's true. I don't even have a weed flag, so you know I'm out of the loop. What does it even smell like? I do know what it smells like. I went to theater school. I know what it smells like. I do have like really... I don't like smoking it. I've only smoked it a couple of times, but it makes me like extremely paranoid. And I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm okay with just like having a beer sometimes. Like that's as wild as I need to get. But I do have like really, for some reason, like really positive associations with the smell of it, because so many of like it was always like a persistent smell in my best friends' houses. Like when I was in college and even when I was in LA sometimes. It just has like a smell of like, oh, my friends that smoke are here. I don't know. I don't have like negative associations with the smell, but I did for a while. I'm too afraid of trying it for that reason. A lot of people who know a lot about it will typically respond to that with, oh, but there are so many different strains, and like some strains do some things and some strains do other things, and like, you know, if you ever wanted to try it again, you should try like this kind of a strain instead of that kind of a strain. But like, I don't care enough. You know, I'm glad that people are doing a lot of research into that, because, you know, we know that stuff can help with joint pain, like chronic pain, like all kinds of things. So the more that they figure out what helps what and what can assist with what, like that's very good. But for, you know, me, who's just like, when I get high, I wonder if I'm holding my hands weird. And I realize I've wondered that for 2 hours. Like, that's just not fun for me. Straight, literally, the first time that I ever smoked, I was sitting on a couch and I was like, everybody's looking at my hands. This is what I mean when I'm like, I get too paranoid. I'm already like slightly paranoid just as a person. I worry about things, right? Which I think is on the same tree. So there's me like sitting there and I'm like, everybody's looking at my hands. I know they are. I know when I remember so vividly sitting on the couch and everybody else was like talking to each other and like watching TV and doing stuff. And for some reason I still was like, they're all looking at my hands. And so I remember just sitting like this is the most normal that I can think to hold my hands. So looking back on it, it's funny, but I'm like, I never want to feel that way again. Just me like, yep, this is normal. This looks fine. This is fine. I like this. So that was me. Oh, and then the Chinese food showed up. And I looked at my friend Sarah and I was like, where? Because we had individually ordered what we basically ordered every time. And I would always get a family-sized, don't judge me, I would always get a family-sized chicken fried rice and eat it by myself, right? So all of the food showed up and I looked at my friend Sarah and I was like, Sarah, where's my fried rice? And she said, you ate it already. And I looked down and there was just an empty box in my hands. I hate it. I hated it so much. I didn't even get to enjoy my fucking food. It was the worst. Never again. Never again. It makes you grumpy. Yeah, that's not ideal, right? The way it's pitched is always like, if you're feeling anxious, it can help with being anxious. Or if you're overthinking things, it can like mellow you out. And again, I get that that there are strains and that they can do different things, but my God, I don't care enough to like throw the dice, you know? Don't. Zackus Wackus. Rice is that good. Yeah, I think that's also a big part of it for me. Is when my friends would talk about like, oh my gosh, it was so crazy. I like drank so much that I blacked out. Even just hearing that makes me anxious. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, how can you be so chill about that? If I drank enough that I woke up the next day and I did not remember what I did, I would never drink again. I would never ever drink again. Like, I just don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. I have no interest in like getting to a point where I'm doing stuff that I feel like I have no control over, or forgetting things. Like, none of that is appealing to me whatsoever. I don't get it. Anyways, is this sufficiently like a not fun topic? Did we do it? Did we destroy the fun? Are we not allowed fun topics? Maybe they came back. Somebody was saying that, they were trying to fix their internet and they told us not to have any fun. And then I told the story about getting so high that I thought my hands were weird. So it felt like we were having too much fun there. So then, if you guys didn't notice, by the way, we started a raffle, right at the end of, the pre-show. Wow, I forgot the word for that. Right at the end of the pre-show, keyword Sparky, Sparky, all lowercase. If you would like to enter, I'm going to draw it in a couple minutes. Yeah, that's also, I have lots of addicts in my family. So I think that's another thing that kind of mentally makes me just be like, I'm okay. I'm okay. I am an apprentice electrician. Dope. I wish. I was looking up blacksmithing classes today. There's a place nearby me where I can take blacksmithing classes. You know, when it's safe to. You know, when it's safe to. I was like, maybe I should take Sam. I feel like Sam would really love just being told to, like, hit metal for a while. Like, I feel like that would be good for him, right? Right? It would be a good day, Toe, I think. You can either book, like, half a day or a full day. I don't know, like, physically. I feel like by the end of a full day, obviously you have a lot of, like, learning and safety and all of that stuff that you probably have to learn anyway. But, like, imagining an entire day of blacksmithing lessons sounds like my arms would be dying by the end. But we do a half day and, like, see how it goes. Right? Hold on. Let me see if I can get this to stop autofocusing. Please. Okay. Hopefully it's done now. That's how you get swole. You get swole over time. You don't get swole overnight. I'm not going to take an entire day blacksmithing class and then wake up and be like, God, I'm ripped. You know? Ruin has come to my abs. You remember our venerable house. You don't know that? Pretty sure. I'm almost positive. This is a Monster Hunter shirt, by the way, for whoever asked, from Insert Coin. It's Sam's, but I packed this for him to wear while we were at the beach, and he was like, I think that shirt kind of shrunk weird in the wash. It doesn't really fit me anymore. And I took that as a roundabout way of saying, so you can wear it if you want. So I'm just going to wear it until he sees me wearing it and then is like, that's my shirt. Because it will happen. There's a sweater that he had that exact same conversation with me about a long time ago. And I've worn it quite a few times. It's his sweater that has like a stormtrooper with a stereo. And it was the same sort of thing where he was like, yeah, this sweater like doesn't really fit me well anymore. This jumper doesn't really fit me well anymore. You know, I don't think I can really wear it anymore. And I was like, great, that means it's mine. So I've worn it quite a few times. And the other day I wore it and he was like, I've been looking everywhere for that jumper. I was like, 6 months ago, you said it was too small for you now. So I've been wearing it. If you would like to retract that and take it back, of course you may. You are the original owner. But I'm just saying, I'm not wearing it for no goddamn reason. You said it didn't fit anymore. But that was 6 months ago. That's fair. In the last 6 months, you know, he's had an intestinal infection and we've had a pandemic and all kinds of other things. You never know. Did you return it? We live in the same house. It's... Our sweaters go in the same place. If he wants to wear it, he can wear it. You remember our venerable Jim, opulent and imperial, gazing proudly from its perch above the town. I trained all my years in that ancient, rumor-shadowed studio, bulked up by bench presses and sit-ups, and yet I began to tire of conventional muscle building. Snizzy, I'm so glad you like really committed to writing that out. Do you normally not take his clothes to wear for fun anyways, like for comfort? I've talked about this before. I will wear things if he's already worn them. So say that like he put on a t-shirt and then took it off like to go to bed or whatever, and I needed just like something easy to wear and picked it up and smelled it and was like, it's fine, then sure. Or like, yeah, or like a sweater or a jumper if he's worn it once and then kind of like thrown it off to the side, but it's not really dirty yet and I need a sweater to wear, I'll put on that sweater. But if something's like brand new and clean, I try not to grab them unless we're like really behind on laundry. I don't know if that's cute or weird. I mean, I've known way too many people who have complained about their significant other taking their clothes. And I don't know if it's like a real complaint or if it's like a it's cute complaint. But either way, if it's annoying, I would rather not do it, right? So my like go-between is, yes, your clothes are very comfortable, but I think you should have first dibs on them, right? So I'm not going to wear your t-shirts and tank tops and sweaters and things if they're fresh and clean and you want to be wearing them. You get first dibs on them. But if they're in like the, yeah, I've worn this once, but it hasn't been used enough to wash yet pile, I will pull from that. Unfortunately, Sam and I are not even remotely the same size. So for me, it's like, the cute oversized look that I adore. And if Sam were to take my clothes, it would be, it doesn't fit. A glove. Yeah, exactly. A glove. Yes, in my Tide ad, Sam was wearing one of my shirts. That is true. Okay, let's pull this. We're gonna open up a new one immediately, so don't worry too much. Closing the raffle, drawing a name. Inbound Kitty, you're the winner of our first Spark and Sparkle code. Congratulations. I will DM you after the stream. Do not accept a DM from anybody else saying that they have a code that's for you. Ignore it. They're lying. It'll only be from me. So to that point, also make sure that you have Twitch DMs or Twitch Whispers open. Hey kids, you want some codes? Okay. New giveaway opened. When will the stream end? For those who might not be able to stay. I'm ending like around the 2-hour mark today. Because we have no food in our house. And we still haven't picked up the new fish tank. So in order for us to like get the fish tank cycling and all of that stuff, we want to just like do a family outing and get everything that we need for new fish and for us to be able to eat in our home. Mr. Fishy 2, Electric Boogaloo. Mr. Fishy 2. That'll be up to Clark, what she wants to call the beta fish. Yeah, I've had a lot of betta fish, and I've always loved them, and they're beautiful to watch, honestly, and they stay small. So I think it's just a better bet because from what I've read and what I've been told now, it's not great to have a goldfish in like any kind of a constricting tank whatsoever. So rather than buy a goldfish and put it in a tank that it's going to hate, I would rather get a fish that's already small. And people were suggesting all kinds of other fish that can be with betta fish. You can't put multiple betta fish together. They're also known as fighting fish because they hate each other and they'll kill each other. So just one. But then we can potentially get a couple of other things after we've made sure that the betta is like stable and happy and all of that. I just rediscovered you after graduating and browsing through Twitch. I wanted to say thank you for being a form of entertainment and respite during my formative years of high school and middle school. Oh my gosh, you helped keep my head above water. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. I thought they could be in pairs. No. They one of my friends did like a thing where they had like a tank, and this also turned out to be a bad idea, like a tank with a divider and then a betta on each side, and it turned out one of them was male and one of them was female, and the female was like making a bubble nest, and they jump, betta fish jump, and so the male betta fish was like constantly trying to jump to get to the other side. It was just a nightmare. So I was like, nope. The water bottle went beep. Did you beep beep? Wonderful. That's great. You guys watched it. You saw it. The water bottle said hydrate or dehydrate. I found you through Arcadum. I'm glad you're in one of the sessions. I love the streams. Thank you. I'm so glad. Ugh. I'm so delighted with how much TTRPG and D&D stuff is in my life right now. I went through like after I had Clark, I went through a really long period of time where I basically like, detox isn't the right word, but I like cut out everything that was kind of extracurricular for me, like no conventions, no consistent podcasts or games or shows or any of that sort of shit. The only one that I was doing for a little bit there was co-optional, but and MangaPod, I guess, but even with MangaPod, anytime like when Erin has had her kids and when I had my kid and all of that sort of stuff, we've just been like, we'll just take a big break, right? So yeah, it's been really nice now that we're here and we're starting to feel like more settled and stuff, to start doing things that I really enjoy and am having fun with, and being in like a bunch of D&D games with my buds is like the best. That's the best. So no, we don't have anything to say about co-optional right now. Would you see yourself having another kid? I don't know, not right now, but I'm very interested in adopting a kid. So it's been really awesome to like go through the whole, infant etc stage with Clark, and be able to spend so much time with her because we both work from home and all that sort of stuff. But I don't need to do that again. If I got pregnant again and we were like, yeah, this feels right, then that's one thing. But like, I don't see myself planning that. Adopt chat. That's a lot. It's a lot of you guys. It's not that I don't appreciate all of you, but there's a lot of you. Can you tell us the name of the water bottle? Oh my gosh. Hydrate? Sam said they were kind of expensive. Hydrate. But yeah, there's like an app that coincides with it, and then you say like how often you want it to blink at you to remind you to drink water, and all that kind of stuff. And if you've drank like, you're supposed to drink 3 of these a day, apparently. If you drink 3 of them a day, it does some kind of like a celebration blink. It's a cute idea for stream. Hi, Sinvicta. How are you feeling, dude? You need to put a little face on it. On the mend. I'm so glad. Now we need a water bottle with Twitch integration. Yo, that's the real shit. That's the next step. How come the dabs are out of stock? Because I have them paused. And to be honest, part of me doesn't want to unpause them. We have a few Valentines. Imtham says, I hope chat lives in a place with more reasonable temperatures than over here. Who on earth decided to let it get this warm in a country without aircon? It's the humidity. Because outside right now, it's like not that bad, but the humidity is just such a killer. Snowfall and Crow, as somebody who has never lived in a humid place. Snowfall and Crow says, I thought it was fun, but my internet and whatnot fixed. I tried to tell you the fun could commence, but you were wonderfully telling stories. This Valentine goes to everyone who enjoys fun and telling stories. Thank you. Mysterious Singing Gal says, hey, Dodger, I wanted to send you a Valentine for being a positive influence. Also for introducing me to Arcadum's amazing D&D campaigns. I don't have any friends who play D&D, so it's super fun to watch my favorite streamer play fun campaigns with others. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you! Episode 2 of the Brett campaign is tonight, Misdemeanor. And if you also watch Arcane Academy, you might be excited for it. I'm excited. I'm excited to play Alis. I realized this kind of early. Both Zach and Alis are like no nonsense people, but in different kind of ways. And so I'm making a character for another game right now that is the opposite of that. That is just super happy-go-lucky, and I'm really excited. That'll be like a good like breakup for all of the somber, melancholic boys that I keep making. If Alis was an actor, what kind of film career would they have? I mean, what kind of film career would they have? I don't know. No, it's on stream. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet. I I've talked about it a little bit, but I'm not sure if like I'm allowed to confirm shit anymore. So just saying I'm making another character for another game with friends, and I'm really excited, and that's it. It's another one that is streamed. It should be fun. PG Wipeout says, for Baloy, the redhead badass that is kind and smart, like Doogs. Oh, stop it. And Snizzy says, I'm back doing this voice again to talk to yous. Chat, if any of yous want to play D&D, I hope yous get to play it soon. It's good times and y'all deserves it. Any of yous who wants to play but ain't got a group, y'all's get one soon. It took me a while to figure out what accent you were going for. Are you still making that song for your D&D character? Yeah, but I can't finish it. I can't really finish it is the problem. So I got like to a certain point with it, and it's kind of dependent on like what happens in the game, how the song goes. So it's just kind of sitting now. Since moving to the UK, have you discovered any new exciting accents? There are, not since moving here, but I really love the accents that are like way more south. The accents that everybody thinks of as like hick accents. I love them. And if I could replicate them, oh my God, it would be a delight. They're like deeply endearing for me. Yeah, the variation of accents here is so wide. In the West Country, they call Granddad Grandfer. Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to think what area it is where I've heard Grandfer. But yeah, it's very fun. There are many, many accents that when I listen to them, I have no idea what people are saying. But that's also how it was when I first met Sam's brothers. Couldn't understand a fucking word they said. And now I can understand everything they say. So it's about immersion, right? It just means I have to find an area and be like, I love the way that sounds, but I don't know what you're talking about. And just go there a lot. I have been to Scotland, but only Edinburgh. I went, when we were backpacking, we went, and it was right at the time that Fringe was going on. Oh my God, I would love to go back for Fringe again. But yeah, pretty much everybody that I talked to in Edinburgh, I understood. But I was assured if I left, if I went literally anywhere else, I would be like, oh no, I have to go back. I have to go back to the city. But honestly, right now, because I've never been and everybody has only nice things to say about it, I really want to go to Wales. So that's my like post quarantine camping trip is I really want to go to Wales. My mother loves Wales and plans to retire there. Aww. Is Wales the one with the dragon flag? I don't know. Scotland is the unicorn, right? I think Wales is the dragon. I love that none of you are confirming if Scotland is the unicorn or not. Everybody's like, ignore that part. Yes, Wales has a dragon. Unicorn is the national animal. It's not on the flag, but y'all can't hide that shit. Somebody in Scotland was like, hell yeah. Our animal's a unicorn. I love it. Wales is a dragon. I know. I'm just saying. It's amazing. They did it to piss off England. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I'm going to say if people ask me about it. I mean, yeah. In America, the country is like the bald eagle, but every state has its own flower, animal, all of that shit. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is true or not. I know that Portland is called the City of Roses in Oregon. Portland is the City of Roses. I don't know if the rose is Oregon's flower. I have no idea. But sparkly, SPARKLY is the giveaway word currently. Remember, you only need to write it once. Every U.S. city also has a flag. Many are super ugly. That's also true. I have kept my very first license plate that was on my car in Oregon. I've kept it all this time, and I still want to hang it up somewhere. If this winds up being like our forever home, I'm going to put it somewhere real prominent, like in the back there, because our license plates are dope as hell. They're just covered in trees. It's so good. The Oregon state flower is the Oregon grape. You sure it's not like the state food or fruit or... I don't know. I just asked Google. It has a weird name, but it's a yellow flower. Oregon state flower. Oh, yeah. Y'all weren't lying. The Oregon grape was designated a state flower. An elegant, ornamental, evergreen shrub, somewhat resembling English holly. Yo, it's really pretty, though. And it's yellow. Love it. Interesting. Okay. England flower is the Tudor rose. All right. Okay, England. Okay. What's the biggest surprising culture difference between the UK and USA? Those sorts of questions are really hard to answer still. Well, they're hard for two reasons, right? The first reason is that I've been coming here off and on for years now. So some things that maybe I noticed when I first started visiting, I don't notice anymore. And maybe I wouldn't think of it anymore. And since we've moved here for real, we haven't really had an opportunity to do much or see much. So most of my interaction still has only been with Sam's family, and I'm used to all of them and how they interact with me. So it's kind of hard to say, like cultural differences, right? Cultural differences will always stand out more with people that you're not used to. And I don't have opportunities to interact with people that I'm not used to, really. Aside from the supermarket, and that's literally, you all right? Yep. Do you need a bag? No. Do you have a Nectar card? Yeah, but it's in the car. All right, that'll be, 45 pounds. Okay. I'm going to have to sign it because it's an American card. All right. Do you have a pen? No, I always forget it. Okay, let me see if I can find one. That's my interaction at the supermarket. As someone that used to work at Sainsbury's, you're flaring my PTSD. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just get the app. Oh, I have an English phone now. Oh my God. I actually can get the app now. Yeah. With our cards, even though we have the chip in our cards now, they still make you sign them. So, they register super weird, and then it comes out and it demands a signature, and then there's always an awkward... So I try to, like, preempt it now. The second I, like, go to use my card, I'm always like, by the way, it's an American card, so they're gonna make me sign. And I always try to have a pen on me, but there have been a couple of times where I'm like, fuck. So that's another reason why it's always nice when all of us can go to the store together, because then Sam is the one who pays for all of the groceries, and it's not a big deal. But yeah, hopefully pretty soon here, I can just... Sam and I can just be on the same account, the same way that we were in the United States. And then I won't have to be like, it's a U.S. card, because it won't be a U.S. card anymore. Dexero, happy 9 months. Happy Twitch, baby. And Cecia, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. I'm from the United States. Sam is from England. Sam moved to the United States for a year on a visa and then had to go back. And then we were long distance for a while again. and then he proposed and came back to America. And once we were like official partners, he was able to get a green card. So he was in America on a green card for a couple of years. And then, yeah, basically when we got married, I was like, I know that you're super fucking lonely when you're in America. Right? Like, you've got some really good friends now. I know that you're happier than you were, but, you know, Sam's just super close with his family, and he's not able to see them. And we have a kid now, and all of his siblings are, like, having kids or trying to have kids. So we were kind of like, if you want to go back, like, I'm down. I don't need to be in America. Right? Like, we have jobs, we can do them anywhere. So if it means that, like, you'll be a lot happier and you get to see your family and Clark gets to grow up with her little cousins and, you know, all of these positives. I'm super down for us to trade. You know, you've been in America for however long to be with me. I can go to England with you. It's not a big deal. So, yeah, so we've done both sides of it. We've done the Sam is an English person in America, and we're now doing the I'm an American in England. And I've said before that, like, that we're not, like, in a town, we're not in a village, we're not in a city, right? So when I do go to the supermarkets that are closest to us, somebody always inevitably will be like, "Are you American?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." Has anyone recognized you? No. Nobody recognized me in America either. I don't think that it's very fair when people are like, "Oh, you guys have been in England for this long already," and Sam still doesn't, like, fully have his accent back. He's every single day still talking to Americans. We're in quarantine. He lives with me, and I have a very obviously American accent. And then at the time that he works, he's playing with people who have an American accent on comms. It's not like we're out walking around talking to English people every day. That's not the situation, right? So, like, it's not super fair for people to be like, "I guess it's just lost forever. He's just not an English person anymore. I reject him." You goofballs. Rough Sketch says, "I want to send a Valentine to Avi, who gifted me a sub yesterday, and Arnar, who gifted me a sub a few months ago. Sincerest apologies for the late response. Thank you both for your kind generosity. It's much appreciated." Aw. Thank you for taking the time to do that. We've already moved. We moved here in December. To be fair, that's what all English people are like with their accents. I moved to the Midlands for a year. My Southern family was like, "You'll never sound the same." When Sam hadn't been in America for that long, but we've talked before about how, like, part of the issue for Sam was that there were too many words that he was constantly asked to repeat when he was in America, right? I don't run into this problem. Everybody understands everything that I say. There's no reason for me to adjust the way that I pronounce any words, right? But for Sam, he, like, had to adjust the way that he said specific words. And it was just a ball rolling from there, you know? So it wasn't, he hadn't been living in America for that long and went back to visit his family and called the rubbish trash. And his mom was like, "What is happening to you over there?" Like, so upset. So that I don't forget, if you guys have a Dwink or a Beverly and would like to take place in the cheers, grab it. I'm going to close this raffle and draw a name. Kira Zatsumi, you are the winner of raffle number 2. While everybody's grabbing their Beverlys. Okay. Congrats! Yay! Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the raffle. Guys, thank you all so much for being here for a Saturday morning DOOGER. For those of you who keep asking, when is she going to play a game? On Saturdays, normally we just sit around and chit chat. So if that's your vibe, amazing. If it's not really your vibe, that's also totally chill. I play games a lot throughout the week. But Saturdays are normally just for hanging out and catching up with each other and shooting the shit and talking about life. So, If your life is going great right now, I'm happy for you. Super, super happy for you. If your life is not going great right now, I'm delighted that you're here, and I hope that this can be a bright spot of your day. And if your life is just like, it's same old, you know, then I'm glad you're here, regardless. You know? You're all fantastic. I appreciate you very much. So let's have a good rest of our stream, and that's that. 3, 2, 1, cheers. Boop. Tink, as my daughter says. Oh my god. Ready your Zacky Wacky emotes. So, so my kid, I've started doing a thing with her where, if she does something, and she's like consistently doing it, I'll sit her down and I'll say, okay, we don't want to be doing that because of X, Y, and Z. And I promise I also won't do it. Right? I'm asking you not to do it. I also won't do it. Deal? And she'll go, deal. And then we'll shake hands. And it didn't occur to me that, like, that doesn't make any sense to a kid until yesterday when she was like, what does that mean? I was like, what? She goes, what is deal? What is deal? And I was like, oh, it's like, it's hard to explain things to a toddler, right? But I was like, well, a deal is like, you know, you say, yes, I'll do that. And I say, yes, I'll do that. And by shaking hands, we're agreeing, right? We've both said yes. So when you chase Sherlock and it scares him and you keep having to apologize, instead, we can just say, when we chase Sherlock, it scares him. So I won't chase Sherlock around the house and you won't chase Sherlock around the house. Deal? And then we shake hands, and then we know that neither of us will chase Sherlock around the house. And she goes, and then like didn't mention it again. And then this morning she's got an elephant that she named Ellie. So she was walking around with Ellie this morning, and she goes, she was talking to Ellie. I can't remember exactly how she put it, but she goes, Ellie, I will go downstairs all by myself, and Ellie will go downstairs all by Ellie's self. And I was like, okay. And she goes, deal. And she takes Ellie's little paw and like shakes it. It was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh. That was so cute. Fuck. The elephant walked downstairs by itself. I carried Ellie. I said, can I carry Ellie and then you can walk downstairs all by yourself? And she goes, okay. So that's her like key phrase right now is, I want to do it all by myself. So if she starts to get upset about something, typically we'll just be like, are you upset because you want to do it all by yourself? And she'll go, yes. She was going to yeet it down the stairs. You go downstairs all by yourself. Deal? Just chucks it. Oh, shit. Yeah. Do elephants have paws? I mean, no. But I couldn't think of the word for what an elephant foot is. Stomper? Yeah. An elephant stomper. Yeah, it's been really cool. Like the more, because her vocabulary is just like rapidly expanding all the time. So the way that she's like incorporating new like concepts, right? Like I want to do it all by myself is so clear, right? That tells us exactly what's wrong. It's like, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's that I want to do it, but I don't want you to help me, right? Like, that's a very clear concept for me as a parent. Like, I want to do it all by myself. And I'll typically say something like with the stairs, right? Because currently, again, she wants to go downstairs all by herself. So I always hop in there with a modifier of like, okay, I will be close by, but you can do it by yourself as long as you're careful. You know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, but I also recognize that I'm in a very like I don't know what the word is. I'm in a position where I happen to have a kid who I'm not going to assume by any like pat on the back of my own, but is really, really focused on communicating. And so, you know, sometimes I tell these stories and then other parents will say, man, I really wish that my kid was talking that much, right? Or like, my kid is older, but not saying as much as Clark is. And like, all kids focus on different things and grow in totally different ways and reach different goals in different places faster or slower, right? And we've just wound up with a kid that wants to talk so bad, like so badly. She wants to talk and she wants to communicate, and I think all kids do, but like, she's just focusing, like, all of her experience points she's just throwing immediately into vocabulary. Like, I don't care about anything else right now. I want to learn more words and more phrases, and that's it. That's all I'm focusing on currently. And so it's created a situation where it's much easier for us to get through this stage right now, I think, because we can talk to her. So yeah, I think, you know, I always feel really bad when somebody's like, oh, my kid isn't talking as much, as though like they've done something wrong. That's not what it is. You know, we just lucked out, really. Is there something she isn't focusing on or learning as much? When she was really little, it was all numbers, and she still really likes numbers, and she still really likes counting stuff. She's plateaued with that currently, which is fine. Shapes were the thing that she showed zero interest in for a really, really long time. And I've talked before about how, like, we have a nephew, Tommy, who at 1 year old was like picking up all kinds of shapes and knew exactly where they went and all of this stuff. And it took Clark until closer to like 2 years for her to pick up shapes and be like, oh, it's a triangle, right? Like, it goes in there's another slot that's also oh, geez, right? Like that. It took her a really long time to figure out shape stuff, but she just like, she didn't care, you know? So, yeah. Um, from what I understand, a lot of my friends who have had kids that have been really quiet at the start, there's some kind of like threshold point where suddenly they're talking a ton. And I think for some kids, it's like, I don't want to start talking until I've figured it out, right? Like, all kids are, like, every kid is hot wired to like listen and observe, right? And how they use the information that they're absorbing is going to be different. But I think it's all fine. It's all fine. Neurotypical or not, it's all fine, right? We're all learning about our kids and learning from our kids, and hopefully our kids are learning from us, and We're all just doing our best, right? Apparently kids here start like school at 4 years old. She can go into basically like preschool now. A lot of the daycares here are set up to basically be like school prep kind of things. So she can go at any time. We can register her at any time. It's not a good time, but you know, just like generally. When do Americans start school? I have no idea. I don't remember when I started school. I know that like when I started school it was half days. That's all that I remember. I remember that like my first like school experience was I went in the afternoons. I spent the mornings with my dad and I went to school in the afternoons, I'm pretty sure. When you're more, she's old enough to learn computers and coding. It's really interesting. We actually we have a couple of like coding games, and we have a book called Baby Loves Coding. And when I first heard that kids in like preschool and stuff were learning coding, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I don't understand. But I'm realizing it's like it's a lot of sequence games. It's a lot of like you know, this is the basic idea of what an algorithm is, right? This is like you telling something to do something and then making sure that the sequence makes sense. So it's a lot of like car games, right? Here are all of the shapes to make sure the car goes to the right place. Where do those shapes go? Like those are like the early coding games. So it is really interesting, like the way that they start off that path of thinking. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of like, if you want this to do this, what's in the way? Right? So for a car game, what's in the way? Is part of the road missing? Then you need to make sure that the right part of the road is there. That kind of thing. Mark will create the perfect AI and save us all by programming the deal failsafe. Yeah, Lucarian. So that's basically what daycare would be like now for Clark. So we could sign Clark up for daycare for just like a few hours a day, and it would have like kind of basic as far as I know, it's a lot of them, they split you up by age and everybody has like a minder, like a point person, and then depending on your age range, they try to make sure that you're doing lots of activities and things that are right for what your brain is trying to learn currently, you know? Oh, interesting. Mickey Draws says, in terms of interesting things that kids show interest in, my kid always chooses to watch other language versions of cartoons and games. He will put it on the Spanish option and prefers it and has picked up words. It's cool as heck. I need to start learning Spanish so I can keep up. That's so cool. That's really cool. Clark accidentally, she was doing like a word association game on my phone, and accidentally like got into the settings and changed everything to Spanish. And I came back into the room to her doing like a fruit sorting game, and every time she would touch a fruit, it would like say what it was in Spanish, and she would just casually repeat it like, yeah, obviously. I was like, all right, that's pretty dope. I would love for her to know another language. I'm sure it's harder when your parents don't know another language, but do kids still learn? I don't think cursive is really a thing anymore. Any of you with kids that are around the age where we learned cursive writing, is cursive even a thing anymore? Yes? Oh my God. Why? Why? I swear, we spent years practicing cursive English writing. And then the second we got into middle school, our teacher was like, oh, you don't have to write it in cursive. You can do it. You can just write it however you want as long as it's legible. And I remember our entire class being like, what? What? What do you mean? We were so mad. Like, what do you mean? Sam and I have talked about a lot about sign language recently because I definitely have an interest in knowing sign language. And we were like, oh, it would be so cool if like Clark and I could learn sign language together. Realized very quickly, oh, ASL and BSL are completely different things. American Sign Language and British Sign Language are totally different. Totally different. So everything that I've ever learned of American Sign Language, I have to throw out the door. Like, can't use any of it. Which is interesting. And I think the initial thought is, what? But they're both based on English, which is not true. They're separate language. They're a different language, right? They're a totally different language. And also, like, the British Sign Language people that I've started watching, they'll put, like, in their descriptions of their videos or whatever, like, the region they're in, because it's different depending on which region you're in. And I was like, wait, so if I, like, learn BSL in the region I'm in and I go to another area of the United Kingdom, they might still not understand me. Okay. Interesting. Like, I don't know. That's difficult. But again, I don't know enough sign language to know like how big of a barrier that is, right? Of like having some signs be different, like dialect wise, like whether that's an actual just like barrier to understanding at all. ASL is more common worldwide. BSL is mostly the UK. But we live but But we live in the UK. But we live in the UK. Here's a good one. Taco. Taco. Again, that's ASL, but taco. It's a good one. It's important. It's an important one. If you take anything away today and you live in America, I saw a really good video. I favorited it so that I could go back and watch it again. But it was basically like, if you're in England and someone is trying to sign like emergency signs at you, this is what they would look like. And I really need to go back and remember that. I practiced them for a while and now I can't remember them anymore. But it was like, emergency, please call 999, I think was this. I think this is 9, so 999. Call 999. But I can't remember what like emergency and stuff was. But like that sort of stuff seems important, right? Like that's a good starting point, is like, if I want to communicate with somebody and they're in trouble, it would be good to understand that. 999 is the equivalent of 911 here. 999, I think is what it was. 999. Call 999. Yeah, in England, I don't know about the US. We're just told to call 911 for everything. But in England, there's 999 and that's emergency, but there's also a non-emergency. "111." So 999 is emergency. 111 is non-emergency. All those pocket calls to 111. I know, I'm seeing so many numbers. It's going by so fast. I actually can't even keep up. Also, I can't remember if I said it, but Caffey Night, thank you very much for redeeming the cheers that we did earlier. Elodie says, after years of living in a flat share and saving up and an exhausting year-long search, we will be signing the lease on a long-term flat later this month. We can't afford to buy, but we have a pretty sweet deal on one of Vienna's premium government housing units. We'll have a small terrace, enough space to start a family, and access to communal rooftop pools, saunas, and gyms. I am so excited to have a home that's all our own. Oh, I'm very happy for you. And Okala says, can we pray for a big old dramatic thunderstorm? I can't open my windows. It just lets heat in. I feel that. Yeah. I find myself just like wishing, like, please rain. Please rain. Please, just a little bit. Just a smidge. It is a smart bottle. Yes. Wait, hold on. I'll show you what it does, because there's an app and I think I can just ping it to do stuff. So far today, I have drank 393 milliliters of water. Sick. 26% of my daily goal, I guess. Okay. Bottle glow reminders. So this is what it looks like when it's glowing. So when it's like, drink some water, that's what it does. Yeah. I didn't tell you to glow again. I can set it. So it's currently set to glow 8 times a day. Why are you glowing right now? Stop it. And there's also, okay, here's the celebration glow. It kind of looks the same on the camera. Wait, can I change my glow? Oh. I thought maybe I could change the bottle glow settings. No, I can't. Okay. It's like, can I change my glow? No. No, I cannot. No, it just has a battery. It just has like a thick ass battery. It looks like a watch battery, but way bigger. But the app does show me if the, like, what the battery level is at, which is nice. Yeah, it was a thick ass battery. You know. Okay. New raffle is open. Type DWINK. 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 We've also had some hydrates today. Zomaloon, Dexero, Gerbazk, and Arnar. Thank you all very much for reminding us to drink some water. What's the prize? If you do exclamation point giveaway, it links you to the game. We played it with Octo on stream. It was super fun. It's like a jigsaw puzzle shmup. It was actually delightful. So, yeah, after we played it on stream, the dev reached out and was like, thank you so much for playing it. And gave us some codes, which was very sweet. So, yeah, it's actually like very fun. So, getting some carrot cake. Oh, jealous. Maybe I'll just make carrot cake. What method do you use to make coffee? French press, mocha pot, espresso machine? I do not own an espresso machine. My most common is the French press. I also have like a Chemex, like a pour over. So those are the two that I would say I use the most, but I've gotten used to using the mocha pot when I want to kind of like simulate an espresso, if I want to make like a latte or something. I have tried an AeroPress. I have never made a good cup of coffee with an AeroPress. I've tried so many different methods with it, all kinds of stuff. And I've never been able to make a good cup of coffee with it for some reason, so. But yeah, for just like straightforward coffee, oh my gosh. I got my brother-in-law interested in like abandoning instant coffee. Oh my God. He texted me and he was like, all right, bought a French press. I was like, oh. And then he like tried some coffee from the grocery store and was like, I give this coffee a 5 out of 10. It's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud on your coffee journey. Do you have an instant coffee you like? I'm totally down to drink pretty much any of them. They taste completely different to fresh coffee. like completely different. They might as well be different drinks. But they have their place for me. Sure, I drink instant coffee sometimes. What? I have Mobius. I would love to read about that. Why drink instant coffee when there's hot cocoa? Sam's family is a big hot chocolate family. They love it. Like the two people in the family now that drink coffee with me are Sam's dad and now my brother-in-law. The only two people that I can reach out to and be like, coffee stuff? Yeah, it tastes totally different, doesn't it? I'm not about to be like instant coffee is terrible, but and maybe I have said that in the past. I don't remember. You know, time is meaningless. But uh instant coffee definitely has a place for me, and I will drink it, but it's a different drink to me. It's not coffee to me, if that makes sense. Shill for your coffee company. Yeah, by the way, I own a coffee company. If you're interested in coffee. I'm trying to remember if have we rolled out the better shipping? I need to double check with David if we've rolled out better shipping now. But yeah. Yeah, we'll ship anywhere. It's just whether or not the shipping is like a reasonable price for you. It depends country to country. But yeah, our coffee's very good. Hashtag ad, I guess. But our coffee is really, really good. I'm very proud of it as a product. And if you've ever been interested in trying it, I would love it if you check it out. Okay, I'll ask David about it. You can't sponsor yourself. Watch me. One of the things that I think was a big bonus taking off of the bag was the flavor notes. It just confused the shit out of people because one of the flavor notes is peanut, and people would be like, I wish I could try it, but I'm allergic to nuts. And we would have to constantly explain, like, there's no nuts in it. It's just, this is the flavor profile of the coffee. There's no nuts. We promise there's no nuts in it. So when we were redesigning the outside of it, just took all that off for the best. Do you get the perk of getting as much coffee as you want now? Well, I don't tend to ask for them to send me things unless there's a reason, because it's extra work for the people who are in the warehouse, and it's also like taking away from our supply, you know? So I don't tend to ask for a lot of product, because it's better for like our freshly brewed stuff or our freshly roasted stuff to be in your guys' hands than in mine, right? Unless I'm like actively planning to do some kind of a sponsor, not a sponsorship, but like to show it off, right? So I try not to cut into our supply as much as possible. But I do think that I should be more consistently talking about it and showing it. I would love to just always have it in the background of my streams. I think that would make a lot of sense. So fill a bag with snacks. It looks like it's filled with coffee, and then I open it up and I'm like eating popcorn out of it or something. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've thought about that as well. Like, our BRB screen is an opportunity to have advertising, like when the Cat Gang store is reopened, and also for the coffee, like that's an opportunity to have like little ads pop up while I'm gone, that kind of stuff. So yeah. I haven't seen you live streaming in a long time. Really? I stream all the time. But if you mean you haven't swung by in a while, welcome back. What do you think about capsule coffees? Do you mean like Keurig stuff? I think they're really bad for the environment. People ask us all the time if we'll do pods, and we always say no. There are some people who are developing, because I've looked quite a few times. It's important to, like, you know, keep an eye on this kind of stuff. There are people who are developing pods that are biodegradable, and not like, a lot of times when things say biodegradable, they don't say like how long it takes to biodegrade. Like, it could still be a very, very long time, and they're able to write biodegradable on there. But like pods that actually biodegrade within like a couple of weeks. People are starting to make that kind of a thing, which is very cool. But currently, the easy way to make pods is not sustainable, which kind of goes against like our mission with the company. So it's not something that we're ever interested in doing. But you can get reusable pods. That's what my mom has used for a really long time with my coffee. I used it all the time. They're literally just like little pods to go into your machine, and you just fill them up with coffee and use them, and then wash them out, and then fill them up with coffee again. How often do you drink your own coffee? As often as I can. If it's in the house, that's what I'm drinking. If I've run out, again, I won't ask for more immediately, typically. So I'll try like whatever interesting looking coffee I can find at the store, which is more difficult in England than it was in America. But yeah. No, Kokiri, that's funny. That's exactly what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. It's just a flavor profile thing. So people who are really into like letting their coffee bloom and all of these things so that they can taste all of the flavor notes. One of the flavor notes that you might get out of the coffee is like a nutty flavor, like a peanutty flavor. So it's included in the flavor notes, but there are no nuts in it at all. So you are safe. No, I can't stream for much longer today. We're going to have to keep it close to 2 hours. Let's see. It's almost 3. 3:30 is the latest that I can go today. So I think we'll probably just continue to chit chat because Sam and I have some errands that we need to run when Clark wakes up. And I have misdemeanor, but that's in the evening. More Valentines, goodness gracious. No Frank says, I love you all. It makes working on stuff I don't know to do easier. I hope I read that correctly. Okala said, I had a lady come into the shop with a tenna lady on her face in place of a mask the other day. What does that mean? Nobody said anything because what the heck do you say? I hope that gives someone a giggle. What is a tenna lady? What? A pad? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Alita says, this is for everyone keeping me company today as I wait out my quarantine period in Dublin. I just moved here to go to school. P.S. I am so happy I'm finally back in a similar time zone as you, Doog, so that I can catch you live again. Oh, I'm glad. Arner says, thank you to the nice, wholesome folks in chat, fellow mods, and our lovely Dodger and Sam for all the nice words and positive chill times. Aw, thank you, Arnar. Heronbug says, is signal boosting King Bonzo. My new baby is jaundiced really bad. We have to keep her in a UV blanket all weekend, but at least we get to do it at home. She was like a little Oompa Loompa. Big love to King Bongo and the baby. This Valentine is for you guys. Oh, Angie Viper, one of my closest friends, was also born jaundiced, and at the time that she was born, they were told to literally just leave her out in the sun, which is wild to me. I'm sure your baby is going to be just fine. You're being an amazing parent. I'm sure that that's scary. But thank you, Heronbug, for signal boosting that and for giving them a little Valentine. Tatters said, this is a quick Valentine for Jerry Reg, who, even though I was watching a VOD, still managed to remind me to check my posture and drink some water from the past. So thank you for always checking. Aw. We put our baby in a sunny window. It's magic. Is that really what you're supposed to do? Like a plant, like a solar baby. Modern problems with modern solutions. Interesting. Yeah. Bilirubin? Is that what causes the jaundice? My dad got really jaundiced for like a separate reason. And I've never really known... I never really looked up like how that happens. My little brothers were born with that. It has... Oh, it's a kidney thing. Makes sense. Liver issues. Liver issues. Oh, interesting. My dad got really jaundiced when he was like still drinking really badly. And he's been sober for years now. Very proud of him. I love you, Daddy. But at one point he got really jaundiced and had to go to the hospital. So that makes sense if that's what it is. Yeah. Gallstones? I also don't know what gallstones are. Is that like a stone in your gallbladder? Gotcha. The only person that I know that ever talks about gallbladders is Krendor, and I still do not know what they are. I don't know what it is. You wouldn't know that I took an anatomy class 3 times. You wouldn't know that from the way that I talk about bodies. I only paid attention to the interesting shit. It holds all of your gall. Oh, you don't really need it. It's a bile sac. So it's like an extra, it's a part of your body that like is supposed to help break down stuff maybe? Or didn't you once ask how hands work? I don't know, probably. It helps break down food. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I mean Krendor had to have his removed. And that's why he had like such a life overhaul. Like he keeps a food journal and started working out and like all of this other stuff to, I mean, to sort of strengthen everything else up and keep track of like what upsets and doesn't upset his body. The transformation of Buffdor. Yeah, it was just the gallbladder. He just took it out and is suddenly ripped now. Which is a healthy thing to do that probably everybody should do. I mean, I agree. It would probably benefit all of us to try and keep better track of what we eat and how it makes us feel. Yes, that's also true. We generally have a rule of like, don't give medical advice if you're not a doctor, so. No, I am not wearing knee-high socks. Nope. Just shorts. Socks in summer, chat, please. Somebody out there. Somebody out there is like, I know I'm sweaty, but I'm still wearing socks. You don't have to out yourself. Just know that I'm aware you exist. I feel attacked. It's fine. I just know you're real. That's all. Well, if it's not that hot where you are, I'm not talking about you, am I? I can't not wear socks. My sister-in-law is like that. She was wearing socks in grass, and I was so confused. I'm a barefoot all the time person, and so is Sam. And the idea of wearing socks out in the grass blows my mind. It's like either be barefoot or wear shoes. Like, I just don't get it. I was like, if... I don't get it. I don't get it. Again, you don't have to out yourself. I'm just saying, I just don't get it. It's like, then you're probably just going to wind up with a slightly soggy sock. Unless it's really dry where you are. But even when the sun is out here, like, you're probably going to wind up with a slightly soggy sock. Fellow Brits are suffering today. When I lived in Oregon, and like I'm sure when it starts to get cold here again, it'll be different. But like I'm pretty much barefoot all the time if I can be. But if I've just taken a shower and it's freezing, socks. Absolutely. I'm so excited to get out of the shower and be like freezing my ass off and just put on socks. It's like an amazing feeling. That is when I want socks on. Shower or bath? I'm not a bath person. I'll always choose a shower. But like even like hot tubs, I can only be in a hot tub for a few minutes before I start to feel like kind of queasy. I just don't like being hot in general. So a shower is nice because I can hop in and wash my hair and wash my body and then leave, and it's like a 5 to 10 minute thing. Sam is a hour-long bath or half an hour-long shower person. And I will never understand if we like need to go somewhere and he's like, I really need to take a shower first. I'm just going to take a quick shower. I know we're going to be late. I'll already be texting people like we'll be a little bit late. A 5-minute shower, what even happens in it? How long does it take to scrub some soap on your body and throw some shampoo in your hair, Chad? Like, it doesn't take that long. If it's okay, if I'm hopping in the shower and I'm like, this is the day I'm gonna shave and do all that kind of stuff. Really, shave is the only extra thing I ever do in the shower. If I'm also like gonna be shaving my legs and shit, then yeah, we'll add another like, I don't know, 5 minutes. But even then, that doesn't take that long. I'm not a speedrunner. It's not a speedrunning thing. It's soap. Although, okay, it definitely took me longer to do the hair part of the process when my hair was longer. And I've never had super thick hair. So I'm sure if you have thick hair, it takes a lot longer to do your hair as well. For me, it's like, cool, rinse. A little bit conditioner, yum, 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 yum. Wash the rest of my body, rinse the conditioner, rinse my body, leave. That's all that I do in the shower. I have to contemplate life in the shower. That's also fair. Before I was able to drive, showers were remember when we were talking about how like, for some people when they're making characters, they imagine like important snapshots and like moments. When I was younger, I really wanted to make comics. And so I would like develop stories and like characters and things like that and be like, one of these days when I'm an amazing artist, I'm totally going to make this comic book, right? And so I would imagine scenes that I wanted to draw in my like future comic book. And I progressed to doing that in the car once I was able to drive. But before I could drive, I did it in the shower. So my showers were much longer then. That's also true. That's also true. I don't have an inner monologue, so I don't sit there and like talk with myself about anything. This makes me want to go take a shower. Yes, I can see BTTV stuff now. I have no idea what fixed it. I don't know why it started working again, but yeah, it glitched out for like 3 days and now suddenly it's working again. No, I don't actually. I think it's kind of like a way to cope with driving because I don't like driving. If I have to drive, the way that I cope with the fact that I need to drive is either listening to a podcast or listening to music and like thinking about creative projects that I'll never do. Reminder to wash your bedding. We always come back to the exact same conversations, don't we? I feel bad for those of you who are like, I'm celebrating 6 years on this channel. And I'm like, you must have heard the same conversations about 3,000 times. So the fact that you're still here is mind blowing. And I appreciate it so much. Yeah. For anybody who hasn't been here for that conversation, I am not an everyday showerer, so I am a once a week sheet changer. Because you got to do one or the other. If you're going to be stinking up your bed every night, you got to do one or the other. Once a week, that's so much effort to throw a new sheet on. It's not that much effort. It becomes habitual. It gets to a point where you're like, when's the last time I changed my sheet? I guess it was just last week, but I really need some new sheets on here. It also helps that, well, not helps, but like definitely change Clark's sheets once a week because she's, you know, drooling all over the place and maybe she had a pee leak and like, who knows? Who even knows, right? So definitely change her sheets once a week. So I just do it all at the same time. But I think along with the conversation of I don't have an inner monologue, but I love to space out, right? Some of you guys were like, it's not even about going into the shower and like thinking things. It's going into the shower and not thinking anything, right? It's like a meditative place for me to just stand in the shower with the heat and just like zen out. That's laundry for me. For sure. Like kind of dishes, but laundry definitely is like a zen out thing for me. So I'm just doing the same repetitive shit over and over. I'm folding the same shit that I've folded a million times in my life. So anything that's like, oh, it's going to create more laundry. Like, I don't mind that. That's not a mental barrier for me, really. I'm so excited. If we buy this house, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. If we buy this house, if we're able to buy this house and like knock all this shit out and, you know, all of that stuff. One of the other things I'm very excited for is our closet has a ton of space in it, which is awesome, but is filled with like drawers that don't make any sense. Like I can't. So many of these newer houses, not to sound like an old ass lady, but like so many of these newer houses are like, look at all of this storage space you have. There's like 10 little shelves here. Incredible. 10 shelves. Amazing. And I'm like, what do you need 10 little shelves for? I don't understand. There are so many like tiny drawers in our closet and I'm like, nothing fits in there. You can put 2 bundles of socks in that shit, and then it's done. Who designed this? Like, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. If this becomes our house, I'm going to rip out a bunch of that shit and be like, okay, this can stay, this can stay. All of these tiny shelves are gone. I'm done. And what are you supposed to do with these? Nothing. Okay, we're closing this raffle. Bam! And drawing a name. Bam! The winner of the raffle is Tana O'Neill. Tana O'Neill. Congratulations. Congratulations. You won. I will be messaging you in a whisper after the stream. And we're going to do one more. Are they shoe shelves? These are pull-open drawers that are this tall. I'm not exaggerating to you. This tall. About this wide and this tall. And you pull it out. And this is the headroom. This is the headroom this shit has in there. So if it's like, say that it's a pair of Sam's socks. Right? Big boy socks. And you did like the normal ball of sock thing. And you put it in there. It will not close. Why? What are you supposed to do with that shit? What is that for? Maybe the original owners were like, thank goodness, a place to put my trinkets. a place to put my magical trinkets that open the secret door. I don't have any magical trinkets for any goddamn secret door, so. Okay. Last raffle for the day. All one word, secret door. Maybe they had tiny socks. Maybe they had tiny socks. Ties, cufflinks, handkerchiefs. Don't you normally hang ties? I think normally you would hang ties, though. Although, that's not true, though. Some people have those fancy, like, it's rolled up just so and displayed. But, like, people with watches, people with watches have a thing to, like, display their watches as well. If they're, like, big watch people. I still maintain these shelves are not tall enough for anything other than a secret key for a secret door somewhere. Luxury is defined by light and space, so maybe they're meant to simulate the latter. Maybe. I'm like at a crossroads mentally with myself, where I still really love when there's enough stuff in a room to make it feel like comfy and homey, but I also really appreciate room to breathe, right? And this closet, when you walk in, there's space where it doesn't make any sense for there to be space, and clutter where it's obnoxious to have clutter. Like, I don't know how else to put it. For me, it doesn't make any sense, the way that this closet is set up. So, yeah, just trying to find a long time ago, I talked about there was a YouTuber who I started watching, who at the time that I started watching her, like, had this wild epiphany. Like, did a video where they were like, I've got all these boxes from a storage unit that I need to go through. And had an epiphany, like, while making the video of, like, I think I might be a hoarder. And it was, like, fascinating, right? They were like, I'm realizing I have, like, 20 of the same things, and that I keep, like, compulsively buying stuff, and I don't ever get rid of it. And it was all, like, in this storage unit. And now that I'm having to go through it, like, my anxiety is, like, spiking through the roof. And wound up, like, doing this huge series that is still going now, where they started reading a bunch of books about minimalism and about, like, letting go and having what you need. And one of the things that, like, really resonated with me was her being like, I think the people who talk about minimalism as minimalism is going to be different for every family because everybody's different. Like, that is what worked for her. And so she's made, like, huge strides, but has started calling her life a mess with less. She's like, I have 3 kids. I homeschool them. you know, I run my business from home. Like, I can't clean every single day. I just can't. It's not feasible. But when I do need to clean, I want it to be a manageable experience, and I want, you know, everybody to be in the mindset of helping with that process and like all of these other things. And so I just love, sometimes when I'm in my house, I think to myself, like, a mess with less. It's good. It's like a good, for some reason, it's a good like visualization for me. Yeah, it's interesting because we left so much stuff behind when we moved. And I was like, this is so great. Right? Like, I'm finally, like, we had to go through everything. We had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. Awesome. And I was like, this is so great. This is like a fresh start for us to not clutter up our new house. And then when we moved, we like panic bought a bunch of shit because we kept running into situations where we were like, oh my God, we don't have this, 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 right? And so a lot of times what made the most sense for us was like, I'm just going to get a set, right? I'm going to get a set of like a bunch of kitchen shit, and then we'll just have all of it. And now I'm looking at our kitchen and going, why do we have like 3 of this thing and still don't have this thing? And like, it happened so fast because we just like, we still to this day look around sometimes and go, we still don't have that thing. And like, do we even need it now? If we've like made it this far and we haven't had it, like, do we even need it? Like that kind of a thing. It's not that our house is cluttered by any means. It's not cluttered at all. But like, to look at our house and already feel like I don't have a handle on what exactly we have, especially when it comes to like the kitchen. Like, the kitchen is not organized at all. I've never had an organized kitchen, and it drives me nuts. I feel like I really need to, once all of this is over, I feel like I really need to call up Shannon. Shannon has an incredibly organized kitchen. I feel like I need to call her up and be like, help. Like, what do I do with this? What the fuck do I do with this place? A pizza cutter is the sign of having all of the kitchen utensils. We have 2 pizza cutters and still run into situations where we don't have what we needed. But that's because I live with a pizza addict. So, you know, it's different. It's a different situation. We do not have a nutcracker. Oh my gosh. But the second that you said nutcracker, I imagined in perfect detail, like holding the nutcracker that my parents have that I grew up using. Oh, I bet it would be like impossible to find a nutcracker like that. Unless I went to like a flea market or like an antique store. Oh, I should go to an antique store, see if I can find an old nutcracker. I don't know why this is now, you did this to me. Ugh. Oh, I've learned to really appreciate pizza with no cheese on it. I'm also totally fine with non-dairy cheese, but like, non-dairy cheese tends to be a little expensive. I'm fine with pizza with no cheese on it. I don't need cheese on stuff. Clark is currently obsessed with cheese, so we always have a ton of cheese in the house. And she's also very sweet, so she'll be like, Mommy, you eat one. I'm like, no, I'm okay. Mommy, you eat one. Mommy, you eat your cheese. I'm like, it's not my cheese. They're both for you, Clarky. Like, if there's like 2 little things of cheese, like, they're both for you, honey. You can eat both of them. But she like feels awkward eating things by herself. Like, she really wants me to be eating at the same time as her, which is great. But What time do you need to leave today? In like 10 minutes. 10-ish minutes. Should be good. At what age do kids start to understand people don't like the same things? I mean, I think they probably understand that pretty fast because their palates are like constantly changing. And so you give them foods and you're like, I love this. Oh, it's my favorite. And then they'll eat it and be like, yuck. I've also like, when I looked up, because I am lactose intolerant and not like I don't have like a dairy allergy, right? I know a couple of people with actual dairy allergies, so it's much more difficult for them. But for me, I can just look up like which cheeses have a low lactose content, and a lot of hard cheeses fall into that category. So hard cheeses I don't tend to have as much of a problem with, as long as I don't eat a ton of it. Yeah, the hilarious thing about Parmesan is I've gotten very used to, instead, like if I'm eating pasta, right? Instead of using Parmesan, I've gotten really used to just using nutritional yeast with like a little bit of garlic powder in there. I'll normally just sprinkle that on instead. I've gotten Sam to do it a couple of times, but he's a Parm boy. The water blinked. Did it? Oh, Clark gotten picky about stuff, but we just keep offering things to her. Like it's not a big deal. And eventually she eats them better. She didn't want tomatoes for a really long time. She loves tomatoes now. She goes back and forth with broccoli. She doesn't like raw broccoli anymore. She says it's spicy, which I was like, you've never said that before. And Sam, pulling like the ultimate dad card, came over and ate a little bit of raw broccoli and was like, raw broccoli is kind of spicy though, Mommy. And I was like, God, okay. So she's like all about cooked broccoli now. I think it's just like consistently, if you read about kids and like their palates and stuff, it can take them trying something like 5, 6, 7 times before they're like, yeah, all right. She loves yellow bell peppers, doesn't like any of the other ones. I don't know if it has to do with the color, but we know that yellow ones are sweeter because we looked it up on stream. Right? I just keep offering her stuff. And there are some things that she liked immediately and some things that she'll still try. But, you know, she might put it in her mouth and then go and like pull it off of her tongue and put it back on her plate, which is disgusting to watch. But it happens almost every day. Yeah, I talked about it a little bit on Twitter, I think. I don't know that we talked about it a ton here, but I've become a pro at like which foods I can incorporate something into. Bell peppers, if I chop them up really, really, really tiny, I can throw them into tuna or chickpea pasta. She'll eat them. Pasta sauce, like marinara, I can blend up like really like into a paste, like blend up a bunch of vegetables and incorporate them into the marinara, and she'll eat it. That sort of stuff. Yeah, that works great. Oh, we have a consistent thing at my preschool. We do brave testing for new foods. We use all of our senses. What does it smell like, taste like, feel like? It takes 7 to 10 times for your mouth to get used to a new taste. There you go. That's so cute. Does Clark have the cilantro soap gene? I have no idea. She doesn't know how to explain to me. That tastes like soap, Mummy. So no idea. We have a cilantro plant outside that is doing wild shit, by the way. So like, it looked totally normal. And then all of the branches like around the sides started to go brown. And I was like, oh, I mean, I get maybe that's normal for a cilantro plant. I've never tried to grow cilantro in my life. So all of the stuff like around the edges. So imagine it's like a big dome like this. All of this stuff around the edges started to like die. I was like, okay, the rest of it is bright green. I'm going to assume that it's fine. And now out of the center, like a big shoot has come straight up out of the dome. It's come straight up and now has tons of tiny little leaves all over it that are definitely still cilantro, but like itty bitty ones all over it. So it now looks like this. So here's the like new shoot, right? It looks like this, and then the dome, and then a bunch of dead shit around the edge. No flowers. No flowers. It's not flowering yet. It's just a shoot with a bunch of itty bitty leaves on it. It's so weird. It's so dramatic. Yes, a very dramatic plant. It's named after my friend Lou. The only person that I did not reach out to with like, hey, here's what your plant's been doing. Here's a picture of your plant. Here's how your plant's been doing. Because I'm like, I'm not getting anything good out of this. So I'm just not going to. No, different Lou. Sorry. Not Manga Pod Lou. Wait and see what it does next. Yeah, maybe. It is called cilantro. Look at you. How did you know? My eggplant keeps looking like it's gonna die. Just keep at it. Oh my god. Both of my basil plants, I was like, these are gonna die. Miana and Aaron, I was like, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna check on you every day. I'm gonna like, I planted a bunch of other stuff with it in its box because I was worried that it was getting like, when it would downpour, that it was getting drowned, and that's why it, like the shock of it was just not doing well. So I was like, if I put other plants in there, there's more plants to soak up the water. Right, so they might balance out a bit better. As like branches were dying off, I was immediately getting rid of them. Like, just push power into coming back, baby. Just push power into coming back. And they're both beautiful now. But I was convinced they were gonna die. Convinced, both of them. One of them is like a normal basil plant, and the other one is Greek basil, which is beautiful. Both of them, I was like, they're gonna die. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to work my hardest. And they came back. I'm so proud. Yeah, I just try not to drown them. I try not to overwater that specific box. Speaking of which, speaking of flowering, the dill plant is 100% flowering. It's huge. I didn't realize dill got so tall. So imagine like there's this nice, cute little Greek basil plant. There's a nice, cute little regular basil plant. There's a little rosemary plant and a little sage plant, and they're all beautiful and they're all doing well and they're all about like the same height. And then there's dill that's just like like so tall and flowering, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah, it's a little rosemary now, But rosemary's hardy. It keeps on coming back, so I'm going to have to transplant it, I think. But again, I like panic planted a bunch of shit with this basil to try and help it come back. Oh yeah, all my plants are outside. Anything inside dies for me. I am not an indoor plant person. I keep trying. They all die. So everything goes outside. No, it's not the cats. This has just always been a thing for me. Indoor plants and I don't get along. Basil, come back. You can blame it all on me. Okay. Let's read off our activity feed for today. Thank you all so much for tuning into the stream. I'm going to let this raffle, secret door, all one word. I'm going to let that keep going until we're done with the activity feed, and then we'll pull it. David 45177, thank you very much for subscribing at the beginning of the stream. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Lepa, thank you for the 56 imthams for the 3 years. Happy anniversary. Lacril, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Neve Edwards for the 15. Dahobo for the 10. POW's Journey, thank you for the 31. Larkin for the 4. Alita, thank you for the 1 year. Happy anniversary. Rice Farming Asian, thank you again for subscribing. Welcome. Aomaz the Cat Gangster, thank you for the 52. Mr. Ow, thank you for the 25. Sassy Sue for the 20. Paw Biscuit for the 3. Chrissy WF for the 69. Pro Evo, thank you for the 2. Theonis, thank you for the 3. Pumpkin Mayhem for the 45. And Anonymous Gifter, thank you for gifting 3 months to Ailey Baby. Very sweet. Matthias, thank you for the 3. Walnut for the 68. Raging Pixel for the 49. Oroberon for the 35. No Frank for the 26. Thomic for the 63, Asac for the 66, Crystal Gem Larimer for the 26, Carbonite Cream for the 5, Anon Giles for the 3 years. Happy anniversary. Cecia, thank you again for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Dexero, thank you for the 9. Happy Twitch baby. Zelatan, thank you for the 4 years. Happy anniversary. Avi, thank you for gifting 3 months to Snakerfin. Very sweet. It was your 30th month, it looks like, Snaker. Gypsy Rose, thank you for the 44. Gerbask for the 52. Unleashed Enlightenment, thank you so much for all of the biddies. Lee Scoresby, what's up, dude? Thank you for the 71. Wild Gamer Angel for the 58. Ishnualon, thank you for the 21. Omnimon for the 59. Evil Bunny, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Nag for the 41. Unpaid Satyr for the 66. New Guy for the 22. Takamikos for the 65. Magic Maddie for the 34. The Unspeakable for the 57. And McSouthers, thank you very much for the 2. You guys are all very sweet. I hope that you're having a good weekend so far. I hope you're taking care of yourselves. Again, episode 2 of Misdemeanor will be happening tonight, 9 p.m. England time. We are closing this raffle in 3, 2, 1. Boop. And drawing a name. Shantae. Shonte. Shantae. Congratulations. I will be reaching out in a whisper with your game code. Congrats. Yeah. I think that's it. For me. Snizzy would like us to try and raid Timpani again. Let's see. Are they live?
One gave a shit.
They are. Playing Fall Guys. Delightful. Okay. Let's go say hi. Snizzy says this nerd is definitely online now. If he goes offline in 10 minutes, I'll cry. They tried to, this is a friend of theirs, and they tried to do the raid yesterday, I think. And by the time I was done, Timpani was offline. So we're trying again. Go spread some love, some positivity, some happiness, etc. I will see you guys tonight if you tune in for Misdemeanor. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow for Manga Pod and all that sort of stuff. That's it. Take care. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.